You're now live. Hey, we're live. Hi. We're just getting ourselves sorted, ready to go live at 5. So hopefully you're there and you've got a glass and a bottle and you're ready to go live with us. Oh, hello, someone joined. Oh, someone else is there. Oh, cool.
We'll just wait another couple of minutes, just until it's right on 5 o'clock for everybody else to join, and then we'll get the show on the road.
We will. We will. And I reckon in 20 weeks we might be comfortable with this. Right now we're a bit nervous but very excited. Oh, hello, Whiskey Wicks.
We don't have to talk. Alright, so just talk amongst yourselves for a little bit.
Yeah. Shan't be long. Hope you had a good day. We've had a busy day doing doing stuff that we don't usually do.
You don't have to talk, Subi. We can wait. It's okay. Subi doesn't like.
Oh, but look,
Subi doesn't like being quiet.
But look, we've got all these friends there. Hi, Andrew. Thank you so much for joining us, Melshell. Oh, wow. Goodness me. Oh, this is exciting. Doing a Bishno painting at the moment, Skippies. In London, though. You're joining us from London. That's amazing. Oh, thank you for the claps.
All right. It appears to be 5 o'clock. So
right.
Let's get this show on the road. We won't. We don't want to keep you for too long. We thought that we might just do a little 15-minute session with one of our many favourite wines. As some of you are already aware, we are doing virtual tastings online every Thursday at 5 o'clock because we can't do tastings in-house at the Farm Shed in Bishno. So over the next 20 weeks, we're going to be doing profiling one producer each week, and most weeks we'll do a red wine and a white wine. And we'll just have a chat about the wines and see how we go. We only plan to be here for about 15 minutes, so so get your glasses of wine ready and let's go.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, well, I'm Subi and this is Helen, in case you haven't met us.
I forgot to tell you who we were.
Yeah, if we've met you before, great to see you again. If not, we hope to see you when we reopen and get moving again. But meanwhile, this is going to be fun. So we're going to start from the southernmost point in the East Coast wine region and work our way up to the north. Now, interestingly enough, if you saw the little warm-up sort of promo that we did the other day, Helen alluded to many changes having happened over the 3.5 years that the farm shed's been open in Bishno. One of the changes went a little bit like this. We'd lived in the area since 2000, and we got to know quite a few people with wine in the region who were making it and growing grapes and all of that, and so we knew quite a few of the brands. So when we opened, our understanding was that the East Coast wine region extended from Orford up to St Helens. That was all very fine. Nobody told us we were wrong until we met a man called Fred Peacock. Now, Fred's a bit of a legend. If you have been to Hobart or you are in Hobart, you'd know the name Peacock. They were legends in the early days of Hobart, particularly in fruit canning and milling. And the name Peacock is all over Hobart. Jones & Co., where the Art Hotel is now. Henry Jones started working for the Peacocks when he was 12 and ended up being a partner. I think he was the sort of showman and the Peacocks were the quiet doers. Anyway, the Peacocks continued until 1969. Fred's grandfather, also Fred Peacock, retired from running the family business. And in 1974, young Fred started working at the Department of Agriculture. We're going to hear a bit more about that soon. But anyway, the story goes like this. We met Fred Peacock. We knew he was a legend in the wine scene. and we were talking to him about the East Coast wine region, and he said, it starts at Marion Bay. And we said, well, how come? And he said, well, if you compare all of the critical indicators, the soil, the wind, the temperatures, the rainfall, everything, it extends down to Marion Bay. So we said, okay, you know a lot more about this than we do. So, all right. We were pretty happy about that, because what that meant was that it took in Brim Creek Vineyard and Cape Bernier. So we were happy to add them. That made 22 wine producers in our region. And we've never looked back. Now, Brim Creek, the brand which we're featuring today, is one of the oldest plantings in the state. It's also one of the bigger vineyards, 7.5 hectares. It's got quite a wide range of wines. Fred is the viticulturalist and also actively involved in the winemaking. Has an outside winemaker at Winemaking Tas that makes the wines, but he's in there, he's saying what he wants. And what it's resulted in is a great range of wines that have won unbelievable amounts of awards and trophies over the years, as has Fred. He was Viticulturalist of the Year for Gourmet Traveller last year. And the accolades just keep going. He's just such a lovely, modest man who's been very supportive of us. So we're very pleased to be starting at the southernmost vineyard in the region, Brim Creek. Let's get on to some wine, Helen.
Okay, let's get on to some wine. One of the reasons we really need to get onto some wine is because today, just to give you a bit of context, usually on a Thursday we don't do a whole day in the post office, but we've been working in the post office all day today, so we're a little bit, I think we call it going postal.
Yeah, or gaga land.
Or gone postal. So even though there are parts of the post office that we enjoy while we're not doing the farm shed, having a whole day with your head in parcels and letters and bill paying and, you know, have I got a parcel, sorts of things.
And we had to rush home and we didn't have time to practice, so you're just getting this a la naturel.
That's right. And so we've rushed home, put the fire on. So it's actually really hot here. So if you think that I'm going really red, it's actually because of the fire, not because I've already been drinking.
No, she hasn't.
So let's give the drinking a shot.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start with the Brim Creek Schomburger. Hopefully everybody can see that, and hopefully it's not back to front. I'll just pour us a little bit first.
Now,
hopefully you're pouring some.
What some of you won't know is that before we embarked on our career of having our own business in 2000, Helen was a senior policy analyst and researcher. So she's been researching a bit about this wine and found some pretty interesting stuff.
So, if you're hearing some scratches in the background, it's because our two dogs are standing outside the door because they've been banished while we're doing this. Anyway, they'll be in a few minutes, so that's all right. So Fred Peacock, back in the late 1970s, was given a task by the Department of Primary Industry that he was doing some work with, to source a cool climate grape from around the world to be planted somewhere in Tasmania in an appropriate place. So Fred got on to a mad scientist who was playing with grape breeds and varieties over in Germany.
Sorry to interrupt. Fred's just joined us.
Hello, Fred.
Hi, Fred.
If I tell any lies about you, Fred,
just send us a message
tell me
to
later.
correct us.
Anyway, so Fred got onto the German people who were in the process of crossbreeding a number of grapes in order to come up with a cool climate grape. So the grape that they came up with three grapes, but the one that we're talking about is the Schomburger, which is actually a blend of a Pinot Noir, I think it's a Muscat and a Chasselas grape. So that's what makes up the Schomburger. The Schomburger was then planned or was sent out to a number of different countries, and Fred was able to source some to import back into Australia, which he did in Victoria with the help of the CSIRO. And in 1982, he, with Primary Industries, did a trial planting of the Schonberger in Tasmania.
Down at the Brim Creek site, I think.
It was a successful planting. So Brim Creek became the first commercial planting of Schonberger in the Southern Hemisphere. So yay to us in Tasmania, I say, and especially yay to Fred. So
he says it's correct so far, so that's great.
Great. You're a legend, Fred. So the Schonberger is planted in Germany, Canada, the northern states of the USA, so in Washington State and in Oregon, and drumroll, in Tasmania.
Yeah.
Oh, and a little bit in New Zealand, of course. So we feel pretty proud and lucky to have the Schonberger here, because it's you don't see it in very many places. And there's only a few vineyards that are growing it here, and there's only a couple of vineyards that are doing a pure 100% Schonberger in a bottle. Some of them are doing blends with Rieslings and other grapes, but Fred is doing this one. So let's have a sip, and we'll have a think about it. You've probably already been sipping while I've been talking, no doubt. Now, those of you who know us will understand that neither Subi or I will espouse to being, technical experts about wine, because we're not. What we say is that we know a bit about the people behind them, and we know what we like to drink. And I just find, I'm not a sweet wine drinker, but I find that wine really interesting, because it starts off sweet, you can get some of the sweetness, and then it just sort of rounds out in the mouth, and it's still quite fruity, but it's almost savoury at the end. So
now Fred's just said that there's also some Schonberger planted in northern England. I think another thing about this is that we have 3 plantings on the east coast of Tasmania, but the others blend the Schonberger with Riesling and other things. There's not many 100% Schonberger. So those that know more than us say that it has a traditional complex nose of lychee, rose petal and musk. Are you getting that?
I've got the rose petal.
I think I've got the musk. The palate is luscious and persistent. I can identify with that. We're certainly persistent. With melon, guava and lychee flavours, balanced by an excellent line of underlying acidity, resulting in a wine with a refreshing, clean finish. I agree with that.
I'm with you, Fred. Can you read Fred's comments? Or anyone else's comments?
Oh, no, lost that one.
Okay.
Hi, Timber Kitchen. Wish we could have a pizza with this.
Yes.
Looks sensational. So it goes well with sushi, shellfish, Asian cuisine. It actually complements an unusually wide range of foods. So what we've got happening down here out of your site, but within our reach, is some Thai-style smoked salmon to have with it when we can relax after this. So how's it going? Are you? I don't know if you know, but there are such things as super tasters. Apparently, these people have twice the taste buds on their tongue as normal people. We are not super tasters. We're super tasters in volume, but we don't have that. We don't have that ability to pick the lychee and pick the melon. We had a guy come in to the farm shed one day and do a wine tasting, and he said, look, I'm not a wine drinker, but I'm interested in learning. He took one sip and he said, I'm getting white peaches. I try and I try. I just know I like it, and that's what it comes down to. So I'm going to have another sip.
Just a little interesting thing about the Schonberger is it's because it's got the muscat and the Pinot sort of genes in it, I guess. It is actually quite a nice, rich pink grape, and they say that it's quite a nice table eating grape as well.
Karen Skews, hi there. Is a very different taste to what she was expecting, enjoying it more with every sip. So
Excellent.
Absolutely. Sometimes the first sip, you need to do a few just to get the hang of it and to let it arrive. Oh, Super Duffman's got the lychees.
I'm going to have
He's
a
got
bit
the
of our salmon, Thai marinated hot smoked salmon.
Thank you, Fred. Everybody's palate is different. So we will pick up different things, but I mean, it is a bit reminiscent of a Gewürztraminer in terms of that little bit of sweetness up front that then drops away, I think. But gosh, it's well done, Fred. It's a beautiful
Well
wine.
done, Fred. Thank you, Fred. So,
All
without
right.
getting too carried away here, I think we should move on to the
Yeah,
red.
let's move right along. Short, sharp and sensational.
That's right.
That's
We
what
can
we're-
finish that later.
Now, here's one that we prepared earlier.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, some of you will have known us in our previous incarnations, and others of you may not have. But Helen, when she was a senior policy analyst in the Department of Permanent Cabinet,
Subi
and
just
I
loves
was-
saying those words.
I do. I was the general manager of the Salamanca Arts Centre. We quit our jobs. We moved to Swansea. We bought an old bank building, and it was if you don't mind a little story, it was a Sunday. We walked into Swansea. We had a camper van. We were camping at locally because someone had told us about a business. We thought we'd like to buy a business and have a new life. And we had a great life and decent income and good careers and all of that sort of thing. But we decided that we wanted to do our own thing, and we thought we'd buy something. So we heard about something in Swansea. We went to have a look. We kind of came out of there bedraggled, having had a swim, and our dogs were wet. They'd had a swim too. It was 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning. We walked across the road. We saw an A4 piece of paper on a fence, and it said for sale. We walked around the front door opened. Helen was it was the early days of mobile phones, but we did have one for work. So she was putting the number on the sign.
It was a little blue Nokia.
It was gorgeous. It remains one of the best phones we've ever had. So we walked around the front door opened. Someone stuck their head out and said, "Oh, hi, I came to a party at your place in 1983 or something. Come on in, have a look. I'm just living here while my friends are selling the building." So Helen's been priming me up, We walk in, 3 steps in, we look at each other. For months she's been saying, "I'll do anything. I'll do a general store, I'll do a corner store, whatever, but I won't do a cafe. I'm just not going to do a cafe."
Ha ha. Last words.
Three
Famous.
steps in, we thought, "Oh yeah, this is a great building." Went back to the caravan park, looked at each other, said, "Is it too early in the morning to open a bottle of wine?" I said, "No, because our lives are about to change." We opened a bottle of wine, and in 15 minutes we had a menu, a colour scheme and a name. And the name was The Left Bank Coffee and Food Bar. The rest is history. So back to Brim Creek. So many great wines from Brim Creek, but when I read that this one's called a Left Bank blend, a Bordeaux blend, this was the one that we just had to have because of our fondness for that part of our history at the Left Bank from 2000 to 2005. So a Bordeaux blend, in case you don't know, which I didn't, is traditionally 70% Cabernet, 30% Merlot. It can vary from vintage to vintage, and in this case we've got 65% Cabernet, 35% Merlot. So that's the story behind this wine. So if you've got, and we've had it just breathing in the glass, I have to say, these big glasses, especially for red wine, amazing. It's what we use at the farm shed. And so we've just had it in here breathing for a little while.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
Okay, all right. I'll see you later.
So The nose is aromatic with blackberries, tobacco leaf, and lifted cigar notes.
Oh, yeah. One more little story quickly.
We went to
From
Cuba
Subi.
a while ago and we went to a cigar factory, and honestly, a sip of this and I'm back with the cigar, the tobacco grower and the cigar factory.
And that's when Subi bought a Che Guevara cigar, believe it or not.
And
brought
discovered-
it back illegally into Australia. Don't tell anyone.
And discovered that he and I have the same birthday. Anyway, it's a medium-bodied palate that's powerful, dark berry and plum flavours mixing with cocoa and smoky oak. What more could you want?
A little bit of smoked salami. And I think we'll have that first, and then I think we're going to have a bit of dark chocolate.
We are.
Yeah.
We just happen to have some there. In the farm shed we have some beautiful cuvee chocolate. It's one of only 2 things that we sell that's not made in Tasmania. Oh, I thought I did. Oh, yes, I did. We're having noir. The story behind that is that some friends of theirs were in the farm shed and went back and said, this would be a perfect place for your chocolate. So they approached us and we said, oh, look, we just have things made in Tasmania. We're pretty proud of our state and that's what we do. And they said, oh, that's a shame because our friend said it'd be a perfect place for our chocolate. Look, can we just send you some samples? So they did. And we now stock it. One of 2 things. Lovely young couple making this beautiful chocolate, matched deliberately to wines. So this is the one that goes with medium-bodied red wines. We've got some that go with champagne. We've got salted caramel. Beautiful chocolate.
And here's a piece.
Here's a piece.
There you
Yeah. So, look, this one, a lot of the Brim Creek wines are written up in the Halliday Wine Guide, and this one he's given 91 points. So it's up there, as are the wines that we're going to taste next week. So it's kind of time for us to sign off and drink a bit more wine, eat a bit more chocolate, maybe have a little bit of salami with this one.
We hope that you enjoyed that. It is the first one that we've actually done, so we're happy to receive feedback, and we're very, as you know, we're very pragmatic and flexible, and we can change the way we do things. So if you think that we can do it differently,
Yeah,
let us know.
let us know. Listen, somebody asked if they could become part of the go live with us, and I'm not ignoring you. Well, I sort of am, because we don't really know how to do that or what that means. So we'll talk to our tech guy.
Andrew.
Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Hi, McLean Bay Wines. Oh, my goodness.
Keep
Hi,
going,
Rhonda.
keep going.
Hi, Made in 69. Oh, hi, Super Duffman. Oh, hi, Incurable Romantic.
Yeah, all right. Calm down.
We've suddenly got all these friends. Anyway, if you want to try these wines and you can't get a hold of them, Brim Creek is one of the more broadly distributed brands from the east coast of Tasmania. But if you can't get it at your local bottle shop, just give us a ring or go on our online shop and we can shoot it off to you. If you want to get yourself set up for next week, we'll be going next door to Brim Creek. Oh, that was the other thing. Brim Creek, Marion Bay, majestic site. If you haven't been there, you must. This vineyard overlooks the exact point where Abel Tasman first landed in Tasmania in 1642. So we're now going to go next door. Next week we're going to have Kate Bernier's Haphazard Pinot Gris and their reserve Pinot Noir. So can't wait to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
It's been a
everyone.
hoot.
Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Hopefully see you next Thursday at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Bye for
Keep
now.
drinking East Coast wine.
Bye for now.
Ciao.
Now I haven't got glasses on.